Help us, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope. The Obi-Wan Kenobi Disney Plus series apparently has been confirmed. Apparently, Ewan McGregor is going to reprise his role as Obi-Wan, and Disney needs desperately to bring back some original trilogy characters, to bring back the fans, I think, and that's why they are greenlighting this, and we're going to talk about it. This is Neon, this is Clownfish TV, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We just passed 50,000 subs this week. We would love to have 50,000 more and hit 100,000 by the end of the year. I don't know if that's possible, but it would be awesome if we could do that. Okay, so this has been rumored for quite some time that they were going to do an Obi-Wan series on Disney Plus with Ewan McGregor, who I loved in the prequels. I freaking loved him. I thought he was amazing. And actually, when I think of Obi-Wan now, I actually think of a prequel era Obi-Wan. Sue me, I don't care. But I do, because he had a lot more screen time than Obi-Wan did in the original. And this was supposed to be a movie. It was supposed to be one of these Star Wars stories, but of course, Solo bombed. So they didn't want to take a chance on an Obi-Wan movie. Now, honestly, I think this would have been the smarter bet over Solo, because people were already used to Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan. With Solo, you had to recast Harrison Ford, and that's no small task, and I don't think anybody can fill those shoes. So it just was not thought out very well. I don't know why they went back and did a Han Solo prequel instead of doing Obi-Wan when Ewan McGregor's there, but I digress. So this is coming to Disney Plus. I want to know what it's going to be about. I mean, as far as I know, Obi-Wan just spent 20 years kicking around Tatooine. I mean, what is this going to be called? Like the Adventures of Obi-Wan Kenobi Space Hobo? I mean, I don't know what this show's actually going to be about. Maybe he goes off world and has some adventures and then parks it back on Tatooine to wait for Luke to come along. I don't know. But the fact that it's going to Disney Plus, there's a couple things going on here. One, Disney doesn't know what to do with Star Wars in the movie theater. They tried Solo, it bombed. I think now, in hindsight, they probably would have made Solo a series, which I don't know if anybody would have watched it. But, those Star Wars stories, other than Rogue One, I don't think any of the ideas sounded spectacular. And it's too much Star Wars. And people are sick of Star Wars. We've talked about this. People are just, they're done. And it's not because Star Wars is, something that you can have too much of. It's too much bad Star Wars. And there's been some bad Star Wars that really turned off the fandom. So now we're going back to the original trilogy. We're going back to the prequels. We're bringing Obi-Wan Kenobi back. We're going to put a series on Disney Plus. And by the time this show drops, because they're launching with The Mandalorian, I don't know how excited people actually are for it. It looks interesting. It looks okay. But are people going to subscribe to Disney Plus just to watch budget cut Boba Fett? I don't know. It might be really good. I don't know. By the time this drops on Disney Plus, they probably will have raised it to like $17 or $20 a month. So, I don't know. But this is coming from Deadline. And everybody's reporting it as confirmed. Everybody's reporting it as confirmed that Ewan McGregor is coming back for Obi-Wan, for an Obi-Wan series, according to Deadline. Deadline says, the headline says, Ewan McGregor may return as Obi-Wan Kenobi in Disney Plus series. So, apparently, it's in talks to bring him back. I wonder if part of that isn't, just Ewan McGregor, trying to negotiate, or part of it is, let's wait and see how The Rise of Skywalker does before we commit to another Star Wars series on Disney Plus. So, everybody making a big deal about this. It's not surprising. They've been talking about it forever. Ewan McGregor may be picking up his lightsaber again. The 48-year-old Scottish actor is in talks about reprising his role as the heartfelt but headstrong Jedi Master known as Obi-Wan Kenobi and the yet-to-be-titled Disney Plus series. I still think it should be Obi-Wan Kenobi Space Hobo. Deadline has confirmed. So all Deadline confirmed is he's in talks. He hasn't actually been confirmed. Details about the series following the Jedi Master being kept under wraps because they probably don't know what they're going to do yet. Like I said, he parked it for 19 or 20 years on Tatooine, as far as we know, so they're going to have to retcon this and be like, oh yeah, he went and had a whole bunch of adventures, and then he went back to Tatooine and just, sat around and waited for Luke Skywalker. McGregor played the younger version of the wise but irascible Star Wars icon in the 3 prequel films, and he revisited the role to make a voice-only cameo in Star Wars The Force Awakens. Plans to produce a standalone Kenobi feature film morphed into the current plan for a big-budget series on Disney+, just as the discussion of a Boba Fett film gave way to the similarly spirited The Mandalorian. Okay, morphing is not the word I would use. Shockingly disappointed at the box office take for Solo. If that's considered morphing, then okay. Okay, so Solo bombed, and Obi-Wan goes direct to TV. Star Wars goes direct to TV from here on out. It may sound like a demotion. Yeah, it is. It is. And the reaction to disappointing returns on Han Solo, it is. It is. Deadline, and they know that this is what people are going to say. But Disney Plus is a small screen venture of colossal importance to Disney. The digital subscription service has become an all-hands-on-deck mission for Disney, with a bevy of shows from Marvel and major-budget original programming, such as the high-profile remake of Lady and the Tramp. I never thought you would have high-profile remake and Lady and the Tramp in the same sentence. But welcome to 2019. Welcome to the streaming wars. Welcome to the bottom of the barrel we have to scrape to make sure we get every penny out of that barrel. Disney Plus plans are expected to be a core component of the onstage preview presentations at Disney's D23 Expo later in the month. I think it's next weekend. That programming will likely include the introduction of McGregor as a returning screen star in the Jedi universe. Alec McGuinness was introduced to Obi-Wan 77. Yeah, he hated it. He hated it, and people asked him about it, and he told them to go fuck themselves. But he died in 2000 after a storied acting career. Yeah, they talk about how Guinness said it was fairy tale rubbish. But, he was an actor's actor, and you never would have known that. Watching his performance, he took it very, very seriously, even though he probably didn't know what the hell he was talking about most of the time. McGregor inherited the beloved role with all the major pressure and smothering legacy that goes with any generational shift in the fantasy saga, which long ago transcended the status of blockbuster brand to become a quasi-religion and pathological retail obsession for millions of fans. That's a mouthful. McGregor delivered in a big way. I agree. He was awesome, adding dimension and depth to his character, even when the wonky dialogue did him no favors on either front. McGregor said some of the dumbest stuff with a straight face, and you bought it. You bought it. Natalie Portman, not so much. Hayden Christensen is a little more believable in Revenge of the Sith, but, sometimes you're watching the prequels, and I'm not a prequel hater. I think they actually get an undeserved amount of hate. I think that they are better than the sequel trilogy. But, I can't deny that the dialogue is wonky as hell in places, and, McGregor actually made you believe it. He actually made you believe it, when he's talking about your clones being impressive with a straight face, this is not something a person would say. McGregor had made a name for himself already, telling about his career. He's coming back for movies. All Star Wars films will be available on the Disney Plus platform. Actually, not all of them. I had to look this up because I wasn't sure, but yeah, there are a couple missing. The Last Jedi and Solo will not be available on day one. I don't think most people are going to care, but the first 6 movies, as well as The Force Awakens and Rogue One, will be available. And The Mandalorian will be available on day one. And I have to admit that I'm kind of curious about The Mandalorian, but they're also going to do a Star Wars spinoff about Cassian Andor, which I don't know if anybody cares about that either. I liked Rogue One, but again, this is another one. How do you make a show out of that? Does anybody care? Does anybody really care? But yeah, they're going back to the original trilogy. That means if those rumors are true about George and his cut, that it seems like this is the last resort for Disney. Okay, fine, we'll bring back original trilogy characters. The characters people want. We didn't want to do it because we have to pay George. We'd rather do the Mandalorian and not have to use Boba Fett, use budget cut Boba Fett. We'd rather do Rogue One and not have to pay George. But they're probably going to have to pay George. If they want to get the fans back, you're going to have to pay George. 75% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.